History no longer shall be a dull book. It shall walk incarnate in every just and wise man. You shall not tell me by languages and titles a catalogue of the volumes you have read. You shall make me feel what periods you have lived. A man shall be the temple of fame. He shall walk, as the poets have described that goddess, in a robe painted all over with wonderful events and experiences. He shall be the priest of Pan, and bring with him into humble cottages the blessing of the morning stars, and all the recorded benefits of heaven and earth.
The archaeologist, whose business it is to bring to light by pick and spade the relics of bygone ages, is often accused of devoting his energies to work which is of no material profit to mankind at the present day. Archaeology is an unapplied science, and apart from its connection with what is called culture, the critic is inclined to judge it as a pleasant and worthless amusement. There is nothing, the critic tells us, of pertinent value to be learned from the past which will be of use to the ordinary person of the present time, and though the age can offer acceptable information to the painter, to the theologian, to the philologist, and indeed to most of the followers of the arts and sciences, he has nothing to give to the ordinary person.
In some directions the imputation is unanswerable, and when the interests of modern times clash with those of the past, as, for example, in Egypt where a beneficial reservoir has destroyed the remains of early days, there can be no question that the recording of the threatened information and the minimizing of the destruction is all that the value of the archaeologist's work entitles him to ask for. The critic, however, usually overlooks some of the chief reasons that archaeology can give for even this much consideration, reasons which constitute its modern usefulness. And I therefore propose to point out to him 3 or 4 of the many claims which it may make upon the attention of the layman.
In the first place, it is necessary to define the meaning of the term archaeology. It is the study of the facts of ancient history and ancient lore. The word is applied to the study of all ancient documents and objects which may be classed as antiquities, which the evidence has to be excavated or otherwise discovered. The age at which an object becomes an antiquity, however, is quite undefined, though practically it may be reckoned at 100 years, and ancient history is the tale of any period which is not modern. Thus it does not necessarily deal solely with the remote ages.
Every chronicler of the events of the less recent times who goes to the original documents for his facts, as true historians must do during at least a part of their studies, is an archaeologist, and, conversely, every archaeologist who in the course of his work states a series of historical facts, becomes an historian. Archaeology and history are inseparable, and nothing is more detrimental to a noble science than the attitude of certain so-called archaeologists who devote their entire time to the study of a sequence of objects without proper consideration for the history which those objects reveal. Antiquities are the relics of human mental energy. They can no more be classified without reference to the minds which produced them than geological specimens can be discussed without regard to the earth. There is only one thing worse than the attitude of the archaeologist who does not study the story of the periods with which he is dealing, or construct, if only in his thoughts, living history out of the objects discovered by him. That is the attitude of the historian who has not familiarized himself with the actual relics left by the people of whom he writes, or has not, when possible, visited their lands. There are many archaeologists who do not care a snap of the fingers for history, surprising as this may appear. There are many historians who take no interest in manners and customs. The influence of either is pernicious.
It is to be understood, therefore, that in using the word archaeology I include history. I refer to history supplemented by the study of the arts, crafts, manners, and customs of the period under consideration.
As a first argument, the value of archaeology in providing a precedent for important occurrences may be considered. It is the structure of ancient history, and it is the voice of history which tells us that a Cretan is always a Cretan. History may well take her place as a definite asset of statecraft, and the law of precedent may be regarded as a fundamental factor in international politics. What has happened before may happen again. It is by his hand that directs our attention to the affairs and circumstances of olden times, and warns us of the possibilities of their recurrence. It may be said that the statesman who has ranged in the front of his mind the proven characteristics of the people with whom he is dealing has a perquisite of the utmost importance.